How's it going, beautiful people of the internet? This is a very important video for me, guys, because this is my first movie review for 2016. Last year in 2015, we started off with Taken 3. Well, you know, Taken 3 compared to this movie, it's just a pile of shit. But this movie itself is a pile of gold, let me tell you that much, man. It's directed by Alejandro Gonzalez Inarritu. If I said that wrong, excuse me, but he is one of my favorite directors of all time, maybe of all time. If not of one of all times of all time. And I know, yeah, but Spielberg, man, Scorsese, all them, they're fantastic. All of them. It's hard to pick a favorite director. It's just hard. There's 50, 60, 70, a long time history of directors. But I will tell you, Birdman is one of my favorite movies of all time. The screenplay, the writing, the acting, everything about the movie, the continuous one shot, the way they edited it was just so brilliantly done that it just inspired me to write, inspired me to want to direct, inspired me to just... It's not a movie just to be a movie, it's a movie to be the art of cinema. And you don't get to a lot of movies that day. Yeah, you get the indie movies, of course, and everything, but you never get the full-on cinema, for the love of cinema, for new taste, for new experiments, everything like that. So that was something new, man. This movie stars Leonardo DiCaprio, man. I haven't seen him since Wolf of Wall Street, baby. It's good to have him here. We have Tom Hardy. Of course, we saw him in Mad Max earlier or last year, and Legend. And he's back, of course. I love Tom Hardy. One of the best actors of our generation, man, of this decade for sure. I love him, man. And of course, he comes back with this, voice so type. It's hard to do his voice, man. It's very. We give him a very proper burial. We give him proper burial. He comes just with that voice, man. So sometimes you can't even understand him. So it's different, man. Domhnall Gleeson's up in this movie as well, and Will Poulter, of course, we saw him in Maze Runner and We Are the Millers. And Domhnall Gleeson just came out of Star Wars: The Force Awakens as General Hux. Well, then, they're on Jakku. We will have them soon. So, a very good cast, man, by a very amazing director. Nothing could go wrong, right? Well, we're about to find out. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my non-spoiler review for one of my most anticipated movies of the past year, ever since the first picture came out from behind the scenes with the director and star, and from the first trailer, my heart beating so fast. Ladies and gentlemen, here's my non-spoiler review for The Revenant. The directing and cinematography were on spot. This is one of the most beautiful movies I've ever seen in my life. It's just, not every week a movie like this comes out. This took a long time. It went from like 60 million to 90 million to the final $135 million budget. And it's all filmed in natural light. I mean, there's no special light. Everything is with the fire or from the sun. I love that. The directing here was just spot on. I love this director again, and he got every single shot right. The continuous action shots where it just follows and it keeps on going and going, and it's honestly, I'm amazed. And my heart was beating because it literally is like watching porn on the big screen, man. I'm not talking about that type of porn, but cinema porn. I mean, like, literally, like, holy crap, the way the camera angles are, the way they follow, and just what he got out of his actors was brilliant. This movie is very intense. There's a lot of things that feel so realistic, from the practical effects, the makeup, the scars, the cuts. Everything about this movie is just very intense. It feels real. It feels like you don't see Leonardo DiCaprio, you see Hugh Glass, and then you see Tom Hardy's character, and you feel the hatred, you feel the love from characters, and the hatred, and the risks, and what they're going through, and in the woods. Everything feels real. It never feels fake. It feels like we're watching something that's right. Like, it feels like we're there and in the woods. Surviving with Leonardo DiCaprio. I mean, it is simply crazy how this movie feels so realistic and how they capture it so gritty. It's almost beyond words. Tom Hardy was brilliant in this movie, and of course I didn't go in thinking Tom Hardy's going to suck. I knew he was going to be awesome in here, and he really steals the show. Also, Leo steals the show as well. I mean, he's a fantastic actor, but Tom Hardy in here really steals the show for me. In a part where, I'm not going to spoil, but there's a part where he talks about a squirrel. That scene alone, and the way his eyes, and the way that he just stares at one of the characters, I literally was laughing. As in, like, holy crap, like, this guy, the way that he talks, the way he looks, the way his facial facial movement is so it's just so not Tom Hardy, and that's what it is. He disappears into this character, and I love it so much. And Leonardo DiCaprio, guys, he was, wow. His dedication, his facial reactions, his movement. Again, this guy, of course, obviously will get an Oscar nomination, no doubt about it. I want him to win. Now, I've seen this movie 2 times, by the way. I know I didn't say that, but I've seen it 2 times. I saw it Thursday night and then Friday afternoon. One with me and then one with my mom. But let me tell you, Leonardo DiCaprio, and his dedication in here, he is so into the character, and so he just disappears into the character. His look, they go through a lot of crap in this movie. It's nature, man. Water, the snow, wind, rain, the dirt. I mean, so much elements, man, of the earth and nature against man, and man for revenge. And the story itself is just so interesting. And I will say that, just like I said, the practical sets, and they were on location, obviously, in unmanned places. I mean, everything about it was just so beautiful, because it captures this wilderness, this frontier, and almost, it's mind-blowing, honestly, where there's this avalanche. I'll say it does nothing to do with character, but there's an avalanche, and it's in the trailers, and it's just what they capture. I don't know if that was actually a real avalanche. Obviously, it was probably computer generated, but the way that it was done, and the way that it is scoped, and the angle, like I said, was brilliant. Now, this movie is not action-packed. It is not. It's not the Hateful Eight. There's not people getting exploded. There's not headshots. There's not limbs falling off of each other, which is nothing wrong. The Hateful Eight was actually a very damn good movie, man. It really was. But this, the action is realistic. It's brilliant. Like I said, I praise this man, Alejandro Gonzalez Inarritu. The action is just so, like I said, realistic. The setting. I'll say, a bear scene. I really like Domhnall Gleeson, man. I have not got a chance to see Ex Machina, but I loved him as General Hux in The Force Awakens. And in this movie, he is just really, really good, man. I mean, he's awesome. I'm glad he was in this movie. Just the way he interacts with the characters, and, you know, he's not, I thought he would play some, like, poor boy sap in the side, like, I don't want to do this, mate. But actually, what he plays, he is a very strong character, so I'm very happy that they wrote him as a strong character. And I see this guy going a long way. Of course, he's been in the business for a few years now, for a while. So I want to see him do more and more, man. I just love every character I've seen from him has been something different, something of a different voice, different look, and that's what I love from these actors. And of course, Domhnall Gleeson is he's awesome. Not that this really matters for a review, but there are different types of animals in here. I was surprised how many animals. Of course, it was the wilderness, but you got birds, buffalo, horses, wolves, dogs. I mean, you got so many animals in here. Some CGI, some actually real. I will say that the variety of animals were very interesting to see. And the CGI in here, it goes 50-50, where, like, the bear on CGI really looked awesome. It really looked realistic as can be. And then I'll go to my cons, where there are some CGI moments where it's just so noticeable, and it's kind of ruins that momentum there. But other than that, I will say that, like I said, the setting, the action, the acting, the writing, the directing, everything about this movie, of those elements there, were brilliant and stunning, and what makes the movie so damn great. Now, one problem that I have with this movie, or a bone to pick with it, is walking out of it, there are a few things that are really not explained or not whole as you think it would be, man. And I don't think it's left as, I know you're supposed to, like, imagine. Like, I'm saying, there are some characters on the side that you don't get much backstory on, or you don't get much, there's not much context there, or there's some story, like, how did that person reach to that base, or how did that, why did they do that? There are some plot holes in here. There's just a few. There's not, like, it doesn't ruin the movie. I'm just saying, I noticed a few things where I walked out. I was like, yeah, that's something they didn't really go into that they could have gone into, because this is like a 2-hour and 2.5 hour movie. They could have gone into that for like 2-3 minutes, but they didn't. So, you know what I mean? Like, there is a side character who is a woman that we really didn't get to see much. We only saw her maybe in one scene, and then towards the end, and that was it. So that's just one real big problem I have with the movie. Also, not that this is a con, and not that I'm being mean, but sometimes you can't really hear Tom Hardy in the movie because he does that well, you know, watching, right? Like, yeah, it's just sometimes you really can't grasp his voice at times. And I feel like if you see an American Horror Story Freak Show and you see Kathy Bates' character and people were like, what's that accent she's using? And you see Tom Hardy's character, they would be perfect for each other. There was one or two things in the movie that were very anticlimactic, where I was kind of disappointed that it wasn't built up. It just felt like it was just kind of like deleted scene, and then boom, there to the actual like big thing going on in the movie. So that's just another just small problem with the movie. Like I said, some CGI is 50-50. You have the good CGI and great CGI, and then you have the alright CGI. It doesn't really ruin the movie, so don't think that I'm saying like it ruins the whole experience, because it doesn't. This is a great movie, and I gave The Hateful Eight a 9.1 out of 10. I still stick to that grade for that movie. I think it was great, and definitely will own that on Blu-ray. This movie alone was just a teeny bit better than The Hateful Eight, man. Of course, this movie doesn't have comedy, really. It's just a survival movie, a revenge movie, and all alone, just a very well put together movie. Very for sure going to be Oscar nominated, and it better win for Best Cinematography. It better win, man. If it doesn't, I'm going to be pissed, and just, well, I can't do nothing about it, but I'm going to be pissed. So just make sure it wins for Oscars, baby. I'm going to end up giving this movie, guys, The Revenant, a 9.3 out of a 10. So if it's in your local theater, go check it out, guys. Bring your friend, bring your sister, bring your brother, bring your family members. Go see this movie, man. It is worth watching in theaters, and it's also worth buying on Blu-ray. I definitely want to buy this day one. This is something I want to put on my shelves and be happy to own proudly. I'll be like, this is my Revenant copy, bro. Where's yours? Seriously, I love this movie. Leonardo DiCaprio, Tom Hardy. Now, this is not a movie that I could see weekly, because I saw it the second showing and the middle was slow for me, but that's because I already knew what happened. Like, when I saw Birdman for the first time, I didn't see Birdman again until a year later on a road trip. So I feel like Alejandro Gonzalez Inarritu movies are like, wait a year and then see him again, and then the magic's still there, and then see it again a year later. Like, that's how I feel for those movies. But again, I think he's a fantastic director. Awesome cast, man. Awesome what they got out of him. This movie is just unreal at times, where it's like they really captured this. They really recorded that. They really went that route. Like, nobody's safe in this world in this movie. It is gritty and grisly. Oh, grisly. You'll get that if you've seen the movie. It's go see it. Go see it. What a great way to start off 2016. I'm very proud of it, guys. Again, The Revenant, 9.3 out of 10. See you guys for the next one. Have fun. If you want to support the channel, hit the subscribe button. Bye-bye.